Welcome you all. I am B. Muthukrishnamanayagam, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Kamaraj College of Engineering Technology, Virudhunagar. Today we are going to discuss about the topic Express.js. The introduction part. Express.js is the fast, minimal and flexible Node.js framework. These are some features: fast development time, that is Express.js sit on the top of Node.js, that makes development time easier and faster. Routing, it refers to how application endpoint responds to client request. Middleware, it is a request handler which have the access to the application request and response cycle. Within that request and response cycle, we have to do some functionalities. Template engine, Express.js supports various template engines like EJS, Pub, Handlebar, that facilitates the rendering of dynamic HTML content on the server side. Now we are going to discuss about how we have to create a simple Express.js application, the first hello world application. For that, installation and project setup. Phase 1, we need to initialize your project by means of creating a directory and move to the directory, and we have to put the command npm init -y. That time it creates a package.json file supporting files. Next step, we need to install Express.js. For that, we need to use the command npm install Express.js. That time it includes all node modules for our project. Create your entry file. We can create a JavaScript file. We can open with any editor. In this example, they use touch editor to open this. This is the first Express.js application, in which we have three major sections. First section, we need to import the Express and we need to create an instance for it. Second one, we need to create a routing points or endpoints. With the help of various HTTP methods, we need to create a routing endpoints. Each routing endpoints do the specific operations. At last, the server should listen it. Whenever the request from the specified endpoints, the server gives the respective response. For that, the first two lines of code, first we need to import Express.js with the help of this line. Require express of, we are importing the Express object. Next step, we need to create an instance of Express.js. When you are using the express of, that time it creating an instance of Express.js. It's stored in app. After that, we need to, the first section is over. The second section, we need to create a routing endpoints. Here we used get request for that app.get off. When I am saying that it is a slash, it is a root hit or home page hit, and followed by, we have to put a request and response. We have an anonymous function with the responses hello world. For that, response.send us hello world. This part, normally we can say that it is a function handler. What is the task? We need to do it with the help of an arrow function. The arrow function has two major objects, request and response. Last step, after implementing the several tasks, the server should listen some port. Server should be listen on 3000 port. This is a default port for Node.js, and we have an anonymous function that stating that the server is on. When you run this program, node space, the file name is app Express.js. Okay, then the result will be it displayed when you move to the browser URL. If it is a browser page, you should hit local host colon 3000, then it displays the result as hello world. The next subtopic, routing. If it is a routing, we already told you that the routing refers to the determining how an application responds to the client request for a specific endpoint. The syntax for routing is just like app.method of path comma handler. App is the instance of Express, method is any HTTP method, path is URL or URI, handler is the which function we need to do it. When the path is matched, okay, we need to do a respective task. Okay, the task should be available in the handler function. We can use for all HTTP webs. HTTP methods and route handles. Okay, these are the 4 major HTTP methods for any REST API: get, post, put, delete. When I am saying that it is a get, it retrieves the resource. For that, app.get of the URI and the function handler. Okay, this function handler is used to get the record details from the database and displayed in the user. Post, when you want to create a new resource, for that we have to use a post, app.post of URL followed by request and response. It collects the entire form and it's stored into the database. Next one is a put. Put is used to updating a existing resource which is available in the database. Okay, we need to retrieve it from the database. With the matching ID, okay, we need to update the specific record. If I am matching with the record 1, okay, the record 1 will be updated in the database also. The fourth one is a delete. When I am using the delete, okay, the specific record will be deleted from the database with the help of an matching ID. Okay, this part, normally what we can say that URL as well as we are passing that parameter. Based on the parameter match, okay, we will do the either update operation or delete operation. When you are using the put method, we do the update operation. If it is a delete method, we need to do the deleting a particular record. Okay, this example shows that, okay, how we have to work with different HTTP methods and routing endpoints. Look at these 2 points are importing the Express.js and creating the instance. After that, we need to use these 2 for whenever the form submission, we need to parse the data. Okay, for that we need to accept express.url encoded should be accept. Okay, that's why we have to extend it true, and then we need to, while submitting the data, it is sent in the form of JSON format. So we need to pass with the help of an JSON. Okay, for that we need to use the middleware express.url encoded and express.json. Then followed by, while loading this application, okay, it displays the index file, response.send file that loads the HTML file. Okay, whatever the content in the HTML, okay, it should be loaded. Okay, this double underscore directory, this HTML index.html is available in the current directory. The next point, how we have to work with parameters. If the user's :id, okay, I want to display what is the ID is given by the user. With the help of an request dot params, the ID is nothing but it is a ID. When you say that, then it displays what is the ID sent. Say for example, user slash ID is 2, then it displays user ID as a 2. Route for handling the post request. While submissions of the form, okay, then it performs collecting all the details and it should be stored into the database. Look at here, whatever the information in the request body, okay, the request body has a weight as well as height, okay, those informations is in the form of JSON. It should be stringified, converted into strings, and it displayed as a response. Final part is nothing but server should listen, so that server default the port number is 3000. It listens on the port whenever we executing this application. Okay, first part is the home page is loaded, the index file is loaded. After the submission, the post request is happened. When you work with the parameter, then we need to use the URL just like localhost colon 3000 slash any, here it is user slash the ID is 5, then it displays the user ID is 5. Okay, there are two methods we discussed, get and post. Put and delete, when we work with the database, then we can use put and delete methods. Now we can create our own router. Say for example, if you want to design some projects, okay, the project one is assigned to the person 1, module 2 is assigned to the person 2. So each persons are working in a parallelly, so that this routing concept is very essential. Okay, after completions of the implementation of each and every module, we need to just integrate it and we can get a final result. In this example, here it is a Express router used, but in a single page. Look at, when you want to create a Express router object, we need to use express.routerof. Okay, this is nothing but it is a router instance. In that we have to use all the HTTP methods, get, post, put, delete. Okay, in this router we have a profile as well as status. Whenever we use this URL profile, then it displays the content as a profile. Here we use the write method. Initially we discussed response.send. Okay, we can also use write. Okay, then the dynamic result in the web page is loaded with profile. And response.end, at the end there is nothing is printed, simply end. The second get method is the status, whether the user is active or not. Then when the endpoint is the status, then it displays the result as active. This is the one. After the completion, the endpoint, here we are using the user as the endpoint for the given router. The router is assigned to the user endpoint. When we hit user slash status, that time it prints the result as active. Okay, this is the standalone way for using a single router in a single page. Now when you want to use modularity, the module 1 is assigned to programmer 1, module 2 is assigned to the program 2. Here it is example is given as the module 1 is given to the first user. Then again we have to create a express object, different HTTP methods, each HTTP methods to perform a specific operations. All user related operations are available with the different endpoints. At last we need to export the router object. That's why module.exports is equal to route. Similarly, the programmer 2, they may implement for marketing with the different modules, with the revenue, sales. Okay, those things available in the second module. Object is exported. We need to use this user router object. For the first we need to import it, require route and user. Okay, this is the location it is available. Then we need to say that location, followed by we need to use that path. Path is nothing but user slash user router. When you say that user slash profile, that time it displays the profile as a result. The third part is middleware. Okay, the middleware can have perform various operations, executing any code, make changes in the request object as well as the response object, end the request and response cycle, call the next middleware, call the next middleware in the stack. Suppose the current middleware is completing the task, then it calls a subsequent middleware. If the subsequent middleware complete it, it pass over the control to the next middleware. In some occasion, if the next function is not available in the middleware, then the passover should not happen. Then the request will be just hanging. So we need to use a next of method in the middleware. In this example, the pictorial representation for a single request and response, within that various middlewares are used. First one is the logging. Whenever the user is doing any operation in the server side, we need to log the user, okay, what he or she is doing. Followed by user should give the valid credential so that they enter into the system. After entering into the system, okay, they have a privilege to access the entire websites. They can do read operation, write operation, all CRUD operation, CRUD operation. Then we required JSON parsing. Static files, while displaying the results, okay, we need to display your result with a pleasant way, with the CSS, JavaScript, and then images, video, audio. Okay, those kind of assets should be stored in the static file. We can use it. App routing, we already told you that, okay, different modules should be integrated with the help of a router modules. Router module 1 for first module, router module 2 for second module. At last we can give back the solution to the end users. For the successive things, we can have a next method. Look at this example. I already told you that the middleware lifecycle is just like a request, logger middleware, authentication middleware, static middleware, then route handler, and then finally we have a response. For that we have to use app.use. Here it is a function handler. In the meantime, what is the result? We need to give it. In that we are displaying it what is the request method and then what is the requested URL. It prints in the console, and we have a next method to call the immediate middleware. Okay, this example shows that how the middleware is working one after another. Look at these two are creating an object. After that we need to use the middlewares. The first middleware that prints the console with the help of it is a first middleware. The second middleware just print the information in the console. I am the second middleware. The third one, it is also print. I am the third middleware. The last part of our discussion is EJS, embedded JavaScript templating. Is the simplest templating language that lets you generate HTML markup with plain JavaScript. it is embedding your JavaScript with the HTML scriptlet tag. The normally scriptlet tag angular bracket percentage close angular bracket. Within that we have to write the JavaScript code. It is similar to that of which is available in servlet. These are the various syntax. This is for printing the output. This is for writing any logics. When you want to display the raw HTML, we can use hyphen, comment, we can put a hash, include some files with the help of an include. We can put conditions, if conditions. Then when we deal with array dot for each, this is the iteration variable. Okay, in that we need to print for each and every iteration, the iteration value should be printed one after another. Look at this example, single value I want to send it. Response dot, we already told you that response dot send, the response dot write, response dot end, response dot send the file, response dot render. We are rendering the result as a result in the HTML page. Okay, then this is the HTML page with the file extension is EJS. Then here we are passing the content. This is the dictionary. The name is the John. This index.js which is available in views directory, within that we have to place index.ejs. Okay, this file HTML with JS. Look at this is HTML code. Within that we are embedding it JavaScript code. Then it displays result as a John. Multi values. Here more than one dictionary data items are given. I want to check whether the particular person is adult or minor. Whenever I am saying that it is adult greater than or equal to 18, we can say that it is adult with the help of an if condition. If the condition is failed, okay, I can say that the particular person is not adult, in the sense it is a minor. The third, it is also pass the data in the form of arrays. I need to send the arrays the data. Look at fruits, contains the array of items, apple, banana, cherry. For that we need to iterate it. Okay, you can use a for each loop. What is the name? Name is nothing but it is a fruits. Fruits dot for each of, this is the iteration variable fruit. Okay, each iteration, for the first iteration it prints apple, for the second iteration it is a banana, third iteration it is a cherry. It will be displayed one after another. When you work with the objects, here user is the object. Okay, it has a collection of data. User has ID, name, email ID and so on. User dot name, it extract John. User dot email, then it extracts the email ID of the particular person. This is a simple example how you have to work with EJS. First two things we already know that it is importing your Express module and creating the instance of Express. Then we need to set template engine with the help of an app.set. View engine is the EJS. Here I want to pass this item, JSON item with name, laptop, description, the descriptions of laptop, the phone, then the descriptions of the phone. Okay, it is a JSON. Okay, I want to pass this data to the EJS index.ejs. Look at app dot. Whenever I am saying that items, then response dot render of. Okay, this is the item JSON. Okay, it should be enclosed with the curly brace. Okay, this should be iterated with the help of an, say for example, here we are passing an item, items dot for each, then item arrow open bracket here we need to display the items one by one. Equal to item dot name, the name will be printed, item dot description, the descriptions of item will be displayed. After that, okay, this is the file which is stored in index.ejs. Thank you all for watching.